I'm David Carrasco, CEO and co-founder of Vermila Studios.
Where did the idea for this game come from?
So Crisol comes from our passion for those survival horror games, that beautiful genre where you have the combination of narrative, action, and puzzles. And we noticed that there was a misrepresentation or a lack of the Spanish culture. So we wanted to bring something that we knew very well into that genre, and that's how Crisol came to be.
So talk about the design of the game. You're using blood for ammo.
So in many survival horrors, we've noticed that people start not shooting, they just collect clips and clips and clips, and suddenly you have an arsenal on you, and you are like a mini Rambo. And we didn't want that to be the case in Crisol. And by connecting this with the religious undertone of the holy blood and using your blood as the means to get the ammunition in your weapons, and by doing so, you consume your health, you consume your blood. That was like the point of it, making it a real survival horror.
Now, you're an FPS, or you can melee, but you're an FPS, but it feels a lot like Resident Evil 7 type of FPS. Was that what you were going for?
Yeah, Bioshock, Resident Evil 7, 8 are like some of our major inspirations, and I think they are top of, very, very top of the genre. So for us, having those as inspirations took us to what we have here, and they are what we aim for in terms of gameplay and what you feel when you are playing this game.
You also do the thing that not a lot of games do, where you introduce enemies that you cannot just kill. You have to actually avoid. And you don't really see that a lot. I mean, we saw it obviously in Nemesis, we saw it in the Alien movie, and for most of the Alien game, for most of the game, you can't really defeat it, you just gotta run. Talk about some of the challenges when implementing that to make the player still feel like you're having fun, but introduce a character you can't kill.
Yeah, so in many horror games nowadays, it's all about jump scares. Jump scare after jump scare after jump scare. And we wanted to aim for a more of a tension, constant stress. And by adding those characters that you are unable to defeat and that will accompany you, we can add to that stress. Yes, we wanted to, make it extra stressful and give you the memory of I had some tough times there. By controlling or measuring how much you have that into scene and how many times will that happen to you, we are able to not make it get it too old too soon, and at the same time give you the extra beats per minute in your heart that we want from the game.
Now we've seen a lot of combat elements in your game. Are there puzzle elements as well?
Yeah, it's basically the game is a story, right? It's a narrative, and we connect it with puzzles, action, and stealth. So you have to go through those three elements to beat the game. There are optional puzzles, main puzzles, very large ones in some cases, and by having to go through them, you will discover more of Tormentosa and what the city, the island, has to offer you.
It's funny, you mentioned creating stress for the player. What are some of the challenges in making them, like when you decide they get a break, right? Like in Resident Evil was the safe rooms, right? You got the music, you're safe in there, you can do the saves, manage your inventory as like a break. How did you manage that kind of break in your game so the player's not stressed out all the time?
Yeah, you need to have that curve, because if you keep them stressed all the time, you end up killing your players in the end. So, and we want our players to finish the game. So we have some safe zones. You have a store where you will be able to improve your weapons and do things there that kind of show you that you are in a safe environment, somewhere that enemies will not reach. So that can help the player have some relief, explore a little bit, and then this is not like a monster generator, constant, like you will see new monsters all the time when you enter the same room. If you've destroyed the monsters there is a big chance that there won't be any monsters afterwards. Maybe if you've left and you've done a lot of things, some monsters entered, but in many cases, those creatures were defeated and they will not appear again.
Yeah, you mentioned Bioshock. That was like that in Bioshock. You would clear an area, and if you left and came back, enemies would come. Not every enemy, but enemies would. It's a breathing world, right? They come back.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We in this small demo is just a very small glimpse into Crisol. You return a couple times to certain areas, and in one of the times you will discover new enemies there. But that is part of the game. There are enemies roaming the island, and sometimes they just end up in areas where you were already.
Because you're using your own health to reload your guns, does that add another layer of like survival horror element? Because now you have to manage your health, and then you don't have to provide ammo drops either. You only have to manage health pickups as a way to balance the game.
Yeah, for sure. By combining both, we make sure that the player cannot like just add on clips or add on herbs all the time or whatever healing element and reloading element they have. We are combining so you have a single bar and you better use it well when you are approaching enemies. And then if they are attacking you, it's very hard to heal so you can reload. So you need to take a very strategic approach to some combats. Give room to the enemies, go to another room in some cases, and maybe view the combat in a different way in this game than other games where you are maybe more powerful or you have a different way of using your weapons.
So how did you get the attention of Blumhouse as a publisher for your game?
I think in this case we cannot even be more fortunate because they have like a passion for smaller unique artists that create like passion projects. So in this case we just showcased it to them, and they were very intrigued by the art style, by the fact that you're using your blood and you have that religious connection. So for us it was not easy, but it was kind of straightforward. We showed it to them and they were interested. And I think that tells a lot about what they are looking for, which is people that are making something unique and that has an edge on different texts. You can see that on other of the games that are here showcased. And for us, I cannot be happier.
What's a big misconception, do you think, from an outsider looking in at game development in general?
Oh, wow. That's maybe that if you want to make a game, you can make a game, any game. That's a big misconception. I've met people that have an idea. Oh, I have a great idea, and I can make a game from that idea. Maybe it's a great idea, but there's a lot of, polishing that need to go through to make sure that people understand it, that people can play it, that people can enjoy it and will want to invest their time, money, and effort into discovering and defeating or finishing that game, right? So it's a maybe deeper and longer process, and in many cases, very tough to find the financial needs or the marketing or just to be a little different than the rest. So I would say if you have an idea, think about it hard and show it to others and polish it as much as you can before you actually plan on creating. And once you do it, there are many tools that can help you. But and there's like Unreal Store or Unity Store if you want to go, that you can get assets even for free, and you can make things and see if that game makes sense and go for it.
What were one of your favorite games you played growing up that set you on the path to being a game developer?
Wow. I would say Legend of Zelda, Super Mario, those are main games for me. Then also the Spectrum times, Commodore, those very old school games that kind of look a little rusty right now. They also have a big space in my heart, like Bruce Lee or Trapdoor. I don't know, Spy versus Spy. And then Doom, Quake 2, Resident Evil 2.
And when he says Resident Evil 2, he means the original Resident Evil 2.
The original. I mean, I played Resident Evil 2 before I played 1. And
Most people did.
And I was like, what is this? And how didn't I play the first one? And it was just so captivating that I got hooked with this game style.
So when does your game come out, and what platforms are you aiming for at launch?
We're aiming for 2025 and PC and consoles.
Does that include Nintendo Switch too?
I cannot.
Anything is possible.
Yes, I will say so. At this point, I cannot confirm it. We are working for sure on Xbox Series SX and PS5, aside of PC, Steam, Epic, whatever.